Thanks for joining us. This is a quick whistle-stop map tour of the route of the RideStaffs Spring Forward 55 mile sportive that takes place on April 2nd, 2017. So the route starts and finishes in the High Street in Uttoxeter with race headquarters at Bear Coffee. From there we head out on the B5027 and we go out through Bramshall, a bit of climbing. Characterises the first few miles of the course, or certainly more climbing than descending, all the way along that B road until you reach the village of Millich. Now, there's been a few rolling hills prior to that point, but as you can see, if you look at the profile at the bottom of the map here, this is where the first big challenge of the day occurs, and it's on this section of road between miles 8 and 9 where you climb the steep ramp out of the village of Millich before descending down and past Soundin. Parts of this route also appeared in the RideStaffs Ride 68 sportive that we did in July last year, 2016, starting and finishing at Shugborough Hall. So if you rode that event, this will be a really familiar part of the route for you. So through Soundin and then up again, another reasonably tricky bank, up Soundin Bank. Doesn't look much on the profile at the bottom there, but it's a bit of a stinker, particularly at the bottom. It's quite steep, so plenty to sap all of your forward momentum as you climb up there, but then a good long descent down through Hopton and into Stafford. We skirt the edge of Stafford, going around the little ring road there. Should be quite quiet on Sunday morning when the event is taking place though, so not too much traffic to be hoped for on the A513 that you're on for a short while before you go briefly onto the A518 and then right up past the crematorium. Again, another cheeky little climb up there. Doesn't look like anything on the profile, but you've already got 16 miles in your legs by this point, so I'm sure you'll feel that one before you drop down and onto Tixall Road. Along Tixall Road, and again you'll be familiar if you've done the Ride 68 route with the descent down into Tixall. A right turn at the bottom of that climb there, so that's one to be careful of and exercise caution on as you then approach the little lane, Holderford Road, that takes you down to Milford. And Milford is where your first and indeed your only feed station is on this route after just about 19 miles. So stop in at Mammoth there, where there'll be some nice hot drinks and a bit of food waiting for you. And we'll have a first aid post there as well, just in case you've had any difficulties or little mechanical mishaps on the way. And then from there, jump back on and up onto probably the chunkiest bits of climbing that you'll do on the route over the course of the 55 miles as you climb up out of Milford and up to Brockton first, and then you get a little bit of respite as you then bottom out on the Cannock Road, the A34 out of Stafford that you join briefly before going on to Camp Road. And this is the road where you've got a really long, draggy, steady climb that goes all the way up. Lots and lots of climbing there, all the way up till you reach the German Cemetery and the Caton Memorial, which are pretty much your high points of the entire route. And from there, it's skirting along the top of Cannock Chase on Penkridge Bank Road before you drop down Penkridge Bank. Now, if you did do the Ride 68 route in July 2016, it's quite difficult to get some signs in for the left turn that came off of that descent. So what we've done this time is we've carried on straight through past the Cannock Chase Visitors Centre, and we're taking a second later left turn to get off the Penkridge Bank Road. But you'll have climbed up a teeny weeny bit on this section here where you can just see where the cursor is, so that'll sap your speed and you'll be able to see the left turn that takes you in and down around the edge of Rugeley. Once we're skirting the edge of Rugeley, it's onto the A51 and using what's effectively the bypass for Rugeley, but again it's Sunday morning, so that shouldn't be too busy a road at that time of the day as you head all the way around, jumping off the A51 to the 513 and into Armitage. From Armitage onto Handsacre, and from Handsacre you'll then continue on towards Old Ross. So it's pretty much the flattest section of the route as you're going along this, but you can see if you go down to the profile at the bottom here, all of this section around Rugeley, it's all very flat. So on the day it looks like it should be easy on paper, but if it's a windy day, then that'll have its own different challenges for you, I guess, along the way before you start to get into the lumpier roads that characterise the latter part of this ride. So your biggest bits of climbing behind you by this point, but still some little lumps to get up, particularly this one out as you get to Yoxall. 37 miles on the clock, or 38 miles nearly as you get into Yoxall. Bit of a climb to get out of the village there and then rolling up and onto Forest Road. Big long straight road that takes you through Rangemore and onto Needwood here. So again, that's a really tricky one, particularly as it's straight, so you can see the tops of all the little rollers as you go along there before you cross over the roundabout at Needwood, and then it's down into the lanes for this section through Hanbury Hit. As you exit the village of Hanbury, you'll take a little right turn by a pub in the village there, and then it's a big steep descent down Hanbury Hill, and that is probably the steepest and fastest part of the ride. It's certainly been the fastest bit whenever I've been out to check out parts of this road myself on the bike, as you go into Cotton in the Clay, and from Cotton in the Clay, it's across the A515 again at a little roundabout just here, and then ducking through the lanes to pick up the B5017, which then takes you all the way back past Marchington and on to Uttoxeter. So you can see this road can be quite quick, but from pretty much Marchington itself, it's more climbing than it is descending. And then there's a nasty little ramp there just before you get to Uttoxeter, and then descend down into Uttoxeter via the racecourse side of the town. And then if we zoom in for the last little bit here, you can see, there you go, you drop down into Uttoxeter and then a little climb up back into the town, and you go around the top of the town to drop in back at Bear Coffee, where you'll get a well-earned cup of coffee and a slice of cake, and pick up your goodie bag for the end of the ride. So that's been a quick whiz through. You can see those are the key highlights of the 55-mile sportive that's taking place on April the 2nd, starting and finishing in Uttoxeter. For more details, head to ridestaffs.co.uk/events.